wrestler's attire is what makes them stand out as a character. There have been some iconic attires over the years, from Stone Cold Steve Austin's traditional black trunks and black boots to Kane's fire-themed attire. But what happens when a wrestler forgets their attire or loses it at the airport? It's actually more common than you would think and has happened to superstars up and down the WWE card. More often than not, the superstar in question is forced to borrow a fellow wrestler's attire, and sometimes this can make a big difference to their presentation. But join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 7 WWE wrestlers who forgot their wrestling attire at home. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 1. Sabu wears Davari's pants. A wrestler's luggage getting lost at the airport is sadly not a rare occurrence. It can happen at any time and can be hugely detrimental to a show. In the wrestler's luggage is usually their in-ring attire, which means losing it in this manner puts them in an awkward predicament. ECW legend Sabu was in this exact predicament prior to the 20th March 2007 edition of ECW. Sabu showed up to the arena 6 hours late as he claimed he was waiting for his luggage at the airport. Since Sabu was booked to wrestle on the show, he was forced to borrow the pants of Davari. Despite the attires of Sabu and Davari being drastically different, it wasn't actually that noticeable on television, and Sabu managed to pull it off well, which can't be said for the majority of other entries on this list. Number 2. Brock Lesnar uses a toy replica belt. A wrestler's championship title is just as important as their in-ring attire. Most wrestlers decide to put their title belts in their luggage, which risks the chance of a valuable item going missing.
Some lowlife scumbag committed grand larceny and robbed me of the AEW championship.
A wrestler forgetting or losing their title is rare, but on the final Raw before the Royal Rumble in 2019, fans noticed that Universal Champion Brock Lesnar was holding a title that looked a bit strange. But it soon dawned on fans that Lesnar was carrying a replica belt rather than his own Universal title. Yeah, this was the same belt that you could actually buy off the WWE shop, as there were a few differences. This didn't have any side plates, it's not real leather, and there's Velcro on the strap. Number 3. Drake Maverick wears Braun Strowman's clothes. As well as wrestlers' luggage containing their in-ring attire, it also contains their day-to-day clothes. Meaning if you're a non-wrestler who has an on-screen role and your clothes go missing, you're pretty much screwed. During Drake Maverick's time as 205 Live general manager, he would often wear a suit for all of his television appearances. However, in May 2019, Maverick managed to lose his luggage bag, meaning he had no clothes whatsoever, just like his honeymoon night. However, in a genius move, Maverick decided to borrow the clothes from Braun Strowman. Yeah, this despite the two being drastically different in size. I mean, couldn't he have gone to Davari or something like that? But this was because their two superstars had built a great friendship during their time in WWE, meaning that Maverick was lucky that Braun came to his aid. Maverick took to Twitter to address the situation, and he stated, "Thanks at United Airlines for losing my bags and having zero idea if they'll get to me or not. Luckily for me, I had a friend who wears the same size clothes. You don't skip leg day." Number 4. Stone Cold Steve Austin forgets his ring jacket for WrestleMania 15. Sometimes superstars are so consumed with what's going on in their personal lives that they actually forget to pack part of their gear. This was seen during WrestleMania 15 in the main event WWE title match between The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now you may be noticing that Austin was missing his iconic waistcoat, and he instead wore a Stone Cold themed t-shirt. Austin would discuss why the t-shirt was worn during a Q&A segment on his podcast. Austin stated that, "I was mad at WrestleMania 15 because hell, I was going through a hell of a divorce and forgot my damn ring vest, and so I had to walk to the ring in a t-shirt. And you never want to walk to the ring in a t-shirt when it's WrestleMania and you want to look like $1,000,000 in a full gimmick. You're not trying to sell a t-shirt, you're trying to put on a show." So that sucked on that standpoint. Number 5. Edge wears Trevor Murdoch's trunks. Edge is a superstar who has unfortunately lost his gear on more than one occasion. On this occasion, Edge lost his gear prior to a house show in the summer of 2007. This meant he was forced to borrow another superstar's gear. and that superstar would be Trevor Murdoch. This is actually funny because of a number of reasons. Firstly, Trevor Murdoch and Edge have completely different body types, meaning it was unlikely that Murdoch's attire would be a good fit. Mind you, aren't Speedos one size only? But secondly, Edge and Murdoch had completely different attire styles. Edge opted for the longer tights, and Murdoch wore the more traditional trunks. He even put on his waistcoat for added coverage. Number 6. Xavier Woods borrows Biggie's singlet. In May of 2016, WWE incorporated the very serious issue of Xavier Woods losing his luggage into a storyline. They did this during an episode of WWE Main Event. On the show, the New Day came out onto the ramp, but something seemed a little off. That something was the fact that Xavier Woods was wearing a singlet, moreover, one of Biggie's singlets. The New Day explained in a promo that Woods' travel bag was stolen, meaning that Biggie had to come to the rescue. Kofi Kingston then declared Woods the new Mini-E as a knockoff to the Dr. Evil character from the Austin Powers movies. The social outcast then interrupted and declared that he had stolen Woods' bag and would give it back to them if the New Day won the match.
What's that? That is my bag!
Uh-oh.
Oh, is this your bag?
The angle in the match was a funny way of incorporating the real-life complications of a talent losing their luggage into WWE programming. At number 7, The Undertaker borrows the Godfather's pants. It was heavily rumored that The Undertaker was going to wear something special to mark his 10th anniversary in the WWE at Survivor Series 2000. Unfortunately, The Undertaker's bag was lost at the airport, meaning the legendary superstar had no gear for the show. Taker then turned to an old friend, the Godfather. Taker would borrow a pair of his unflattering snakeskin style pants, and the attire was best known for one of the worst attires The Undertaker has ever had in the ring. Hell, Taker didn't even look comfortable wearing the bizarre attire. But this wouldn't be the only time in Taker's career that he wouldn't have a mostly black in-ring attire, as it's also worth noting that The Undertaker didn't actually reference this attire as his worst in-ring outfit. During the After the Bell podcast, The Undertaker stated that his winged attire during his feud with Mankind is the attire he most regrets.
I don't remember what year it was, but it was in the Garden. I was working with Mankind, and I came in from the ceiling with kind of the bat wing.
The bat wings, sure. Yeah, I remember that.
I kind of regretted that one after the fact. It was just a little, too hokey for where I wanted that character to be. But that was my idea. I have to take full responsibility for it. It didn't work.
But there you have it, guys. 7 times WWE wrestlers forgot their wrestling attire at home, or in Brock Lesnar's case, his belt. But are there any that we're missing? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.